Hello there, and welcome to the Rogue Podcast, a Star Wars show. We are now in season 3 of the Rogue Podcast. We're really excited to bring more commentary and insight into what we see going on in the Star Wars world. We'll always have our Madame Jacasa's book club as well, and hopefully we have some more guests come on. Having M&R last year was a really great opportunity. It was great to talk to him about everything going on.
We've seen substantial growth from that since, or is it kind of plateaued? I haven't checked
considering
in a while.
We only did a few more episodes after that for season 2, there was growth, but then we kind of lost a little bit of momentum because we haven't done much since, and we haven't had a big presence on social media. But we'll get back into that this year, and hopefully be ratcheting things up to bring you guys some more frequent content, even when the Book of Boba Fett is over. So we did record a episode of reviewing chapter 1 of the Book of Boba Fett, which hasn't released yet. That's on my fault. I've been really busy with some other things outside of the podcast world. But we will be getting back onto that shortly. And we're really excited to bring to you our commentary on these first 3 episodes. When you're listening to this episode, the first 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett have been released. So we'll be discussing that today, as well as some other rumors and whatnot that have been going on in the Star Wars world. Without any further ado, this is the Rogue Podcast. Enjoy the show. All right, here we are. I am excited to talk about this, guys. Not for the right reasons, though, but we have a lot to talk about.
What reasons else could there be?
We got a lot to unpack. This most recent episode of the Book of Boba Fett was, I don't think, what we were looking for.
Let's rate each episode real quick.
I would go 2, 1, 3.
Yeah, I know. I'd agree. So I'd say episode 1 was like a 7.5.
Yeah, I mean,
high 7.
It introduced.
Us off. Yeah,
it introduced it. I'd probably go more like 6.5 or 7-ish. It just, when I compare it to the Mandalorian, it doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, we have to have some kind of comparison or rating scale.
Barometer.
Yeah, the Mandalorians. Let's just talk about the Mandalorian's pilot compared to this pilot.
You should never do that to anything.
It was just much better. I mean, the episode brought some good things, but it just, I'm not getting the Boba Fett that I wanted to see, is what it comes down to.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, and I think the main complaint was, he's not strong, he's weak, which
makes sense canonically.
Yeah, that
part doesn't bother me so much.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that bothers a lot of people for some reason.
I want him to be emotionally and mentally strong, which is what I don't appear to be seeing. I see him being soft in personality rather than physically. Until this episode, he appeared to be soft physically as well.
Like I feel like he's intending to more so go for speak softly and carry a big stick.
Well, he's been speaking softly and carrying a small stick.
Yes, and he needs to get his big stick back. But
yeah, we'll dig into all that and much more. Second episode, I felt like was the strongest so far.
Like a mid-9, I'd say.
I don't give when people see a girl walking down the street and say she's a 10, I'm like, have you seen Jessica Alba in Fantastic Four? Have you seen Natalie?
I haven't. I've never seen Fantastic Four.
Well, you're missing out. But those are 10s. You don't just see 10s walking down the street in Wisconsin. They're few in real life. Yeah. They're few and far between. So with episodes and rankings of TV shows, I'm not just going to hand out 9s and 10s like a lot of these guys do on YouTube. I'd give the second episode like an 8. I think it was pretty solid. It didn't blow me away.
It's a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes,
whatever
that means.
What?
Yeah.
Tomatometer doesn't mean anything. We know this. We know this. The Last Jedi did good.
Well, some people
CJ.
It did well by the critics, but the fan score was low.
Yeah, it doesn't have an audience score that I'm seeing yet.
Yeah, they don't release audience scores for Rotten Tomatoes for a while.
Yeah,
episode 1 has 70%.
Gravity got positive.
Anyways,
and
yeah, I mean, I thought it was good because it went up.
Yeah,
the season progressed in a upward fashion, which is what you want. You don't want to start high and then do episode 3.
No, I agree.
You want to start like
let's just say this: you never want episode 3. No, it definitely needs to crescendo up into a great finale and lead up to this great culminating conflict, which I think is what they're attempting to do. It's just taking a little bit too long for me. Like, we're eventually going to see Boba Fett go nuts. I mean, we have
to,
but and I think they're kind of saving that because I think maybe if we saw every episode, first off, could the budget handle animating him in his jetpack every single episode? We saw them kind of struggle with jetpacks in the first season of Mandalorian while those Mandos were flying around. It was pretty rough.
And we've only seen him once, and it was just descending into his spot. So,
Yeah.
but what was I going to say? Something about like the story. I mean, even Mando, it had its
100%.
waves.
I mean, we talked about filler episodes all the time for Mando.
But this, this isn't even a filler episode.
No, not at all.
It just it had good parts, but then it had bad parts.
Yeah, the second episode. Let's just dive into that a little bit because we haven't talked about it. I actually, for the most part, really enjoyed it. To me, so far, the best part of this show has been the flashbacks with the Tuskens, which is disappointing because we know Boba Fett as the bounty hunter in the suit. I mean, that's what made everyone love Boba Fett is, oh my gosh, who is this awesome helmeted figure that's hunting down Han Solo and had to be warned by Darth Vader not to incinerate anybody.
No disintegration.
Yeah, or disintegrations. Yeah. So it's just like, to me, that's what we all came here for, you know, and we're getting Boba Fett in his underwear or in his white jumpsuit.
In his robe.
Yeah. And it's just like,
check it on the kids.
This isn't why we came here. But in those Tusken flashbacks, what I did enjoy is if they're trying to turn Boba Fett into a hero, which is not who we have known him as. He was a villain in Clone Wars. He was nowhere close to a hero. In the books, in Star Wars, the movies, he was never a good guy. We don't know him as a good guy. But when we see him in the modern day, I suppose you can say, or in the time of Mandoverse, he is a hero, no doubt. You know, it's not even an anti-hero. I mean, I know he's a crime lord, but he's more so trying to rule Tatooine despite crime. Yes.
And yeah.
So to me, that's what I mean.
As back their money.
Yeah. And as a crime lord, he hasn't really been foreseeing any crime. He hasn't been, I should say foreseeing, overseeing any crime. He hasn't been,
or bounties. Like he's
pushing any way to make money. We haven't seen him trying to do any kind of things crime lords do. He's tried just to be more of a king. So we're not seeing him be a villain at all, which I think is what we kind of wanted to see, or at least him fighting other villains, which I think is coming with the Pikes. But it's just taken a long time for me to get there. So I've enjoyed the other part of the story, which is them explaining how he's gotten where he is. Because his experience with the Sand People, that's a life-changing experience. And when you see how this group of people respects each other and their way of life, and they take you in as one of their own, you adopt that culture. So he has become a part of that Tusken culture. And I thought it was done really well to see how he was taken in, to see how he came to care for that kid, for the black suited warrior, for the chief of the tribe, and just his progression was really interesting there. And especially his inability to use the tools he's always had, having to learn a new way to fight. I enjoyed all that a lot. So I think that the sand portion of that was done pretty well. It had its ups and downs, but overall I felt that was done pretty well. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really liked it. I really liked how they showed they dove more into like the lore for, you know, how sand people build their gaffy sticks and how they, you know, do X, Y, Z, and them like adopting to using technology and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. I definitely
like a banta. Like a banta.
Just like a bantha. They're so similar.
Oh man, that was great. His pearly white teeth.
But he's been a great actor. I mean, I felt like it's been done really well. He's portrayed Boba Fett really well. I just don't like some of the decisions that the writers made with the character. CJ, you haven't said much. What have you thought of the first 3 episodes? I suppose specifically 2. We talked about 1 already. Specifically 2. What'd you like with dislikes?
I think I'm the lowest on the show of the 3 or of the 4 of us. I'd give episode 2 a 7 at best. I didn't think the train made a ton of sense.
Oh, it was stupid. Like, that was a stupid idea.
Just added a train that randomly shot Tuskens that are kind of peaceful.
Yeah, and like the Tuskens were just like
mowing
sitting on the sand. Like there are literal dunes you could just lay behind.
Yeah, they would like scope in and not shoot. for the first part, but now
also
then they start sniping
why are
at the
you
end.
taking a train? The Pikes are like the richest company in the world, or richest.
Yeah, why not fly?
Just fly. and the whole process was pretty silly. I mean, I
feel like
suppose
there's a reason for why you would need a train. You
I mean,
couldn't
maybe if
just
you're going a
fly low
short
across-
distance,
yeah,
and you could definitely hold more on a train than you could in like a small transport. And
but
it
then
probably fuel
why-
would be more expensive than a train, I imagine.
why do they need to transport spice? Because obviously it's all about the spice across Tatooine.
Well, you harvest spice in the desert.
You think it's kind of like a literally Dune the movie situation
Probably
where they
something
harvest
like that.
in Tatooine.
Yeah, they
Okay.
probably are harvesting the spice in Tatooine, and they're probably carrying it to Mos Espa to be shuttled off
out.
world.
Shipped
Yeah.
out. That would make
So
sense.
I suppose that part makes sense. And I mean, I understand the Pikes shooting at the Tuskens because you don't want to risk your shipment, but I just don't understand why the Tuskens are like, why do they care? Just let it go. You don't need to risk your lives by just looking at it and sticking your bantha right there for it's the main target. Like every single
It
time they
dies
go
first
by.
every time.
And it dies so fast too. Like instant just yeah, that whole idea, it was let's make a Cowboys and Indians train chase scene,
Yeah.
and we'll figure out a way to fit it in.
Of course.
Real.
I think the concept too is all right of him like transitioning into a good guy or a better guy. It should be better. It shouldn't be good.
Yes.
But it seems like he starts off, even with the Tuskens, he kind of starts off as a good guy. And it's just like revealing it rather than actual change in him. I feel like I don't know. I feel like
how so? Where do you
executed.
think he was a good guy before it?
I don't know. He just like his interactions with the Rhodian that was tied up. I don't know. He doesn't seem his like interactions or his views of the swoop bite gang.
Yeah.
His willingness to like bend to that kid. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. None of it seems like he was a bounty hunter that wanted to burn people alive.
Yeah, it
It
seems
just
like he kind of just
seems
went
like he's a
along with
decent
it.
dude. Yeah.
Went along with it because it was written that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And it makes the
agree.
change a lot less dramatic like than it should be if that's really what they're going for.
Yeah. That's something that is going to be hard for me to get over because that's not going to change. Disney is taking a character and turning him into a hero. And I don't think they're going to change their mind on that. So that's just something I think we're going to be upset about all year. I don't really know that we can hope for that to change. You know what I mean?
It's not, but I mean, getting it out in the first 2 episodes, at least I guess we know this going forward. So
Yeah.
And so far, I think Fennec kind of plays the angel and the devil on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she'll push him to do like, you need to do a power move right now. You need to do something crazy so they know to fear you. And then, he says, oh, I want to rule with respect. But then at the end of episode 3, he wanted to kind of move and do a power move. And Fennec is like, no, you've made your point. Let's kind of calm down and chill for a sec. So I think that Fennec, if anything, Fennec is kind of, I'd rather see her in charge at this current point. I'd rather see Fennec in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And then Boba do the errands and
honestly,
be the muscle.
I just don't want him to be the guy that has everyone do things for him, which is kind of what it looks like right now. I mean, he claims that he's not going to,
he's going to walk.
He's not going to be, he says, he's not going to be Jabba, but I mean, every time someone comes to fight him, he has to be protected by somebody else. And everything that's done is a peaceful transaction. It's like, you're not intimidating anyone. Now, the hope that I do see for it is he's starting to notice that it's not working. Nobody respects him.
And he's going to be pushed into
a corner where he's got to say, you know what? I'm going for it.
I'm going to ride this Rancor. And then,
I mean, that was definitely for they're talking about, we don't respect you because you don't have a litter. Well, he's going to say, I got something a little bit better than a litter.
got a Rancor.
Can ride this thing.
So yeah, I don't know. I felt like 2 did explain that connection to Tuskens pretty well and kind of explained why he's going the direction he's going, or at least it attempted to do that. So I was kind of expecting something good for 3. I did think that the Tusken arc was coming to a close.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love that the close of the Tusken arc was off camera, having them all be massacred. I feel like it would have been a little bit better for him to like come upon them while they're being raided and try to save them and not be able to, you know. I feel like that would have been a better story instead of just coming up upon this burnt village that Anakin just decimated. I think it was Anakin.
Yeah.
Most likely. But I mean, let's
Vader
stick
came back for round 2.
in episode 2 for a while. I think
Like-
one of the reasons I have to give it such a high score is because the episode itself had really good pacing.
Yeah, it
You
went
didn't
pretty
stick
good
in
speed.
one spot too long, and they sprinkled really cool parts throughout the whole, like seeing the Hutt twins, then seeing Black Chrysanthemum,
Yeah,
and then
the
I can't
Pikes.
remember the Pikes.
Yeah.
So they sprinkled throughout this whole episode to,
Oh,
to keep good pacing
Oh, never mind. That was the next episode.
to where it never got stale.
No, it definitely moved at a better
like
clip.
episode 1.
Mhm.
There were points where I was like, all right.
It also was
like,
a 50-minute
how much
episode
time's
as well.
left?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah, which I thought it would definitely helped it tell a better story. These short episodes that just things appear to move quick, except for the speeders, but then you also feel like the story is somehow moving slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man. Did anything else happen in episode 2? I can't remember how it ended.
It just ended with him dancing around the fire.
Yes. Beautiful New Zealand Kiwi dance.
Yeah, it was what do they call it? A haka.
The maka haka.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool having his culture
Yeah.
in there.
His robes and such. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see his transition, and that's who we ended up seeing when he gets his things back from Cobb Vanth. He was wearing that same robing. So kind of saw how he got to where he is. I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
think we'll
with
still
the
see some
black.
time with them? Because let's move
I
into
think we
episode
definitely
3.
have more
hope
flashbacks in the
not.
future.
And-
I think we have at least a couple.
I think
but-
we will as well, because in episode 3, he starts having his transactions with the Pikes and says that the Pikes aren't going to have to worry about that other gang anymore, the Swoop gang. So I think we're definitely going to see him go take out that gang.
Mhm.
Because allegedly they are the ones who took out the
The stormtroopers or the Tuskens, yeah.
because they painted their symbol on it. But
But it could have been the Pikes
could've been,
pretending,
yeah.
or I should say, the Pikes.
Or the Pikes sent them
Training them.
after.
Yeah, it could be anything. So I think we'll probably see some interaction with the Pikes and with that gang. I can't imagine that we don't see the gang anymore. I know we'll have to at some point. It was cool, that bar scene that he went in and beat the crap out of those dudes. That was a pretty good fight scene. I think it's probably the best fight
Yeah.
scene we've seen so far, in my opinion.
And that was
The Black Chrysanthemum one sucked.
They saw Cammy and Fixer in Tashi Station,
That's right. Yep.
which I don't remember in the episode. Did he say he was going to Tashi Station, or did
I don't
someone
think he
there
did.
say? Because I don't know how everyone figured out. Did everyone just know it was Tashi from the
Uh,
deleted scenes? I guess
Maybe,
I
I'm
don't know,
not sure.
but that's kind of cool.
So yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up 2 for me. There's not
Yeah.
much more really that you could discuss that I can think of. Oh,
Not
here's one
immediately.
thing. That train and the speeders had the feeling of moving insanely fast. Am I right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Everything was going really quick. Oh, one thing I did
Train
enjoy was
fast.
the Tuskens jumping across from speeder to speeder. I thought that was funny. That made me
Yeah.
laugh, and they kept falling off. I don't really know why he thought that was something that needed to practice. I mean, I guess they're jumping out of the train, but I thought that
Fun
was funny.
fact: the woman behind the female Tusken
Mhm.
with the black
Right.
headpiece, she's a stunt double for Captain Marvel.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Because
Okay,
I
so
originally
that's good to
figured
hear.
she was the stunt double for Fennec Shand.
Mhm.
What's it, like Ellen Mary Kim
Whatever.
or Mary Kim or something? She's in a ton of crap, but yeah, it was a different stunt double.
So
but it is a
it
female.
was a female then. Okay.
The
I was
body, at
wondering
least.
because
I figured it was.
I watched it again the other day, yesterday, and I was really looking closely. Like, I don't know. That could just be a thinner guy, because some of the other Tuskens were just thin too, and some of the Pikes were pretty thin. I was like, it could just be a dude. I wasn't sure. So
Mhm.
a pretty cool character. I like the way that she fought. It was interesting. I really enjoyed seeing Tuskens not just be these mindless brutes like we've seen them before. This is a tribe that decided, instead of raiding and pillaging, we're going to just hide and live out here in the desert more or less peacefully. I thought that was kind of a cool idea.
That's
Enjoyed
different.
that. Yeah, definitely different. All right, episode 3. we got a lot to talk about with this one.
Theaters.
A lot of great things.
Like I was telling David, it started off pretty strong. Like I enjoyed the first few minutes. I was watching with the guy from National Guard, and we were both agreeing. We're like, this is our favorite episode so far.
So I know I said we weren't going to recap, but unfortunately we need to recap because I've kind of pushed it out of my mind just a little.
Sure.
Just give me some high points and like what did you like about the first couple of minutes?
So to start off, he realizes that they're all dead, right? All the Tuskens.
Oh yeah, with the flashback.
Yep. And it goes back into the real world, and I'm trying to remember.
The dude comes in the palace and says, people don't respect you. People don't fear
right.
you.
Oh yeah,
People are stealing my water.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And then that's when he goes to so that's about, I think that was about like minute mark 7.
Yeah, and that wasn't too bad. I didn't love the way they looked. Now some people said, I think one of you maybe had said it was stupid of them to have like all these cybernetic, but to me, if they're thieves, they steal stuff. So like I can understand them having parts and stealing money. So
Okay,
that part
later in the
episode,
the kid did say, I paid a lot of money for this eye.
You can steal money, John. You can steal money.
Then why don't they pay money to?
They ran out. They spent it all on their parts.
Why didn't they just steal the eyes? Why did he pay for the eyes instead of paying for the water? It's just
1,000 credits for water.
Gen Z mentality.
Yeah, it definitely was frustrating. I mean, trying to defend those characters is hard. It's just like it doesn't. If they weren't in Coruscant, this would have been.
Oh yeah, it would have been
absolutely
awesome.
fine. I wouldn't have minded this at all. But this wasn't. It would have fit perfectly. If they're in the Undercity of Coruscant, these guys would belong. You'd say, yeah, this feels like Star Wars. But being on the desert planet of Tatooine, you're like, this is not what happens in the Outer Rim.
Super shiny chrome.
This is not how life works in the Outer Rim. And it just kind of showed a lack of Star Wars knowledge for the writers. Dave Filoni is not heavily involved in this project.
It's
I know
mainly Favreau.
Favreau's
writing
and what's his face?
Rodriguez.
Yes, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And I just think that it kind of shows. I'm sure Filoni had his input here and there. I'm pretty sure he directs episodes 5, I think 5 or 6. But yeah, it definitely did not fit the sands of Tatooine. Those characters.
I was like, man, we're watching the Jetsons out here.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't hate the idea of having cybernetic implants, but it just needs to
Star Wars.
It needs to feel not. Star Wars never was supposed to be. This is a futuristic thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like George Lucas said, his characters couldn't have buttons and zippers and things. He wanted it to look like everyone was living in a state of old, you know. And this did not match that theme, you know.
It even would have made sense if being on Tatooine, if they had grungy and Star Wars Theory said Mad Max style.
Oh yeah,
cybernetics.
That's what I'm saying. Cybernetics would be fine. Exactly. Like it's just the style.
Change them
cyberpunk
to be an actual biker gang.
Yeah.
And then make them a little more gruffier.
If they looked like the
and then
gang,
it's fine. We're not having this conversation.
Yeah, if they looked like the gang, the swoop gang that was terrorizing the town with cybernetics, and you know, dirty and like maybe wearing like you know how Rey had that head cover when she was when she was doing her scavenging. Like if they're wearing something like that, or looked more like the bounty hunter Dengar, then something like that would make more sense because you're in Tatooine. You need to be able to brave the elements. These guys looked like they were living in Miami.
Easy solution. I got it, guys. Tan robes instead of black.
It literally would have made that much.
Mind blowing. I know. Take a breath.
Just
it's weird.
Flip all of the color palettes.
Now I have a job.
You don't think about something such as costume design being so important
until it's noticeable.
That's noticeable.
When, that's when you notice it.
Be the QA guy for Star Wars. Like,
non-existent.
Go for a little more brown on this one. We're on
the thing that
planet.
The thing that bums
just
me out.
Throw some dirt on it. Like if I'm the what's it called guy, the visual effects guy, and I'm creating the textures for these bikes.
Everyone gets a little
throw
more.
some dirt on it.
Everyone gets a little.
Oh yeah, those are awful.
And the thing that bums me out is we know we're gonna see a lot more of this Goon Squad throughout the rest of the show.
I saw a handful of comments on various YouTube videos. We have some great cannon fodder, though.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Rancor just goes ballistic and eats their heads. I mean, the characters, we haven't really gotten to know them, but they're definitely trying to introduce these young kids. I think they're just trying to reach a new audience, which is frustrating. And they made them so flashy that they stand out. They wanted them to stand out. So I just don't think it landed. I don't know that it landed with many people out there at all. I know I was watching Star Wars Theories video and I saw some people say 10 out of 10, best episode so far. I was just like, are we watching the same
What?
thing?
Did you watch the speeder chase?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I give this like a 6 out of 10.
I
Just
can't
an
even give it
average. No,
five is average. I give this below average. I
Really?
did not enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
I've heard that
4.
6 is average.
Yeah.
I would say 6 is probably average.
Because 6 out of
Okay.
10 is a 60, so you're pass fail at 60.
It's not I would just say 5 is in the middle. So everything 1 would be extremely hate, 10 is extremely love, and then I work my way in from there. And 5 would be neither like nor dislike. So like a 6 would be
Slightly like
slightly like, 7 would be moderately like, 8 like,
the old pain
9.
scale.
Yeah, exactly, the pain scale. So for me, I would give this like a 4. I slightly disliked it. I didn't enjoy it. The speeder chase was, I told Dave, the speeder chase is the second worst thing I have ever seen in Star Wars. Second only to the Star Wars Christmas special. This was just
And-
It wasn't worse than the chase in The Last Jedi through space.
And that's what
at least that had some purpose. This was just
Did
like
it? But
they're
did
like,
it?
it was poorly written. It didn't make sense because hyperspace exists and
I was gonna say,
So
did
many
it really have purpose?
in the plot it had purpose. This was, let's just have a fun speeder chase chasing down a goon that there's no threat to and we don't really care if you catch him or not, and we're gonna have all these people
When
chasing
Boba
down
has a
when
jetpack.
Boba has a jetpack that travels like 8 times faster than this and can literally just rocket the thing. It was just stupid. But then if they were moved really fast and it was intense and like there was some near death experiences and it was actually like,
Not goofy guys flying into
yeah,
crate.
but like they're laughing the whole
paintings.
time and like they're running into paintings and there's like 3PO walking around the middle. It's goofy. It was
Tom and
childish.
Jerry.
And
Tom and Jerry in space.
It was so slow.
Yeah,
It was like,
they look like you could jog next to them.
yeah, it was like watching Vespas, like those little Italian scooters.
TikTok Vespa
Ugh.
gang.
I could go on and on forever about it. I don't want to because I already talked enough. But oh my gosh.
Somehow he likes Princess Leia unconsciously flying through space more than this. I don't know how, but he does.
She was faster than these Vespa mopeds.
She wasn't. She didn't even know.
Oh, CJ.
Oh.
No, it was bad. I don't know.
We skipped
Longer.
over.
Okay.
So after his flashback, which
Yeah.
I did not appreciate the reuse of the Camino flashback.
Just
Yeah.
use
It
the
was
exact
like
same flashback
2
again.
seconds. I think it was 2 seconds longer. It had him running.
Well,
up
I
to it a little more,
actually
but it's the
think
same.
I think that's a purpose. I think we're going to get a little bit more of that flashback every time, and
So they're
see-
just gonna use.
I,
2 more
I think what
seconds.
they're trying to
Of their
do is they're
runtime.
trying to show.
Hey guys, we need 20 seconds to put in here. Do you got any ideas?
I think it's
What if
foreshadowing.
we reuse the Camino from last episode?
I think it's foreshadowing a memory of his, like a key memory that has shaped his life, his loss of his dad. That might be like one of the last times he saw his dad fly off or something.
That's fair. Well,
And
no, that's not fair because
It's
he was
not
with
the
his
last
dad in
time. I said
episode
one of
2.
the last times.
Okay.
One of the last times. Or it's going to be some kind of connection at the end of that scene that shows us why he is the way he is or who he is. You know what I mean?
I mean, if anything, that was his childhood. His dad coming
flying
for,
away. Mm-hmm.
for 5 days or a couple days and then leaving
Mhm.
and then leaving and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
What I
Or
hope
it
we
keeps
actually-
going through this. And you know who walks up behind him?
Obi-Wan
Omega.
Lord Tyrannish. Oh wait, Obi-Wan.
It could be Omega.
Eagle.
That would be cool.
Hey, Boba, how are you doing, brother?
Man, gosh, I
Boba,
really hope we don't
Have
get
you
hit by
seen
that
Teak?
stuff.
Have you
Good
seen
to-
Teak?
Hunter?
Goodness, I would
Hunter.
cry. I would cry.
But I don't know. Maybe they're leading towards something like that. A lot of people have had speculation that Omega could show
Oh,
up at some point.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
have
we'll
we
be okay.
we all follow
No.
Daniel Logan on Instagram. I was scrolling through and I saw his post, and he said, oh, I need to find it exactly. Someone commented and said, bro, it's a disgrace they're not using you. How, like, screw this show because they're not using you. And he
They
said,
are using him as a kid.
well, him as a kid. And then he responded to it and said something along the lines of, hold your horses. There may be something coming up.
Oh,
You can keep talking,
See
but
some
I'll
young,
find
see some young Boba, maybe like
that's what
20-year-old Boba.
that's what I've been trying to say. Like, that's all I want from this show, like more than anything else. Like some kind of flashback as to why, like the previous 20 years in his life before, he got Jabba, Sarlacc pit. Like,
Yeah, just how he got
what
involved.
did you do?
I wonder. I mean, he was the most notorious bounty hunter in the galaxy, and Jabba Hutt was like one of the most powerful people in the galaxy. I think that makes
Show
no sense.
something. Like, surely you had some kind of
But
like
to me,
important event in your life.
no offense to Daniel Logan, does he look like the bounty hunter type now in his 30s?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't even seen what he looks like in a minute.
I mean, he
they
looks.
could Shamook him to be a
I
little
mean,
younger.
maybe the guy hit the gym and is just like rocking it now. I just
Here we
from
go.
pictures I've seen, I didn't know that he really looked like someone that would cast as Boba Fett now as an adult. You know what I mean?
The comment said, not watching this crap because they didn't cast you, the real Boba. And then he responded and said, Steve, give it a chance. You never know who will show up. Wink, kissy face.
Interesting.
I mean,
You never know what to say with these people. Andrew Garfield made like a 10-minute video about how he's not in Spider-Man. So
I feel like he
spoiler
could
alert.
win it if he got like a haircut.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm sure he's a really good actor, and he could be great for it. I just shouldn't knock him. He'll never come on the show now because I said that.
I mean, he looks, that's what he looks like nowadays.
Yeah, I suppose that could work. No,
Kind of blurry.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's.
there you go.
Oh, yeah, that would work. That could
And
work.
he still looks pretty close. I mean, he doesn't look like what was it? So he was the kid. Then there was like a 18, 20-year-old clone. Remember the middle range in episode 2?
Like the ones we've seen episode 2.
So he's kind of close enough. I mean,
close enough. That could work.
Close
Do the
enough.
trick.
and they could just say, oh, well, he looks like a pinch different because he wasn't modified at all.
Or he didn't get eaten by the Rancor.
He had a different diet.
You don't know what he looked like before.
All right, that's one thing to bring up. The Rancor. How'd you guys feel about that and seeing Machete in the Star Wars universe?
No.
They
It
are
was weird seeing
emotionally
him there.
complex creatures.
What's that, CJ?
Oh, I just said it was weird seeing
It
him
felt kind of
there.
out of place, didn't it?
Kind of took you out. Yeah.
He doesn't fit, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
But
if
it's all right.
anything, that would be his character, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I feel. I feel like his character fits who he is fine. It's just because we all know him
Not
from
like-
so many other things.
It's not like they made him a Jedi.
If we had
Master.
never seen him before, we would not be thinking anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's a meme.
that's true.
But the Rancor
Star Wars
idea,
is all about casting people who are nobodies.
yeah,
'cause
and
then
turning him into somebody, and that kind of is their identifying role. I felt like the Rancor idea was pretty cool. I'm glad we're going to be able to see one in Boba's palace again, where they belong. I had thought that
yeah, we haven't talked about that fight much yet.
yeah, we will in a minute. I thought that for a minute he was going to be the new Rancor, and they just keep him locked up down there.
That did cross my mind
Oh,
when he was like, "Oh."
I was like, well, because they did that to Chewbacca in Solo, right? They would throw their
Yeah.
prisoners to the Wookiee.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that'd be sick because he'd be way more ferocious than Chewbacca was. I mean, he would just tear people apart.
Yeah.
But Boba's not really one to enslave
no.
people. So
Apparently not.
yeah. So I suppose that makes sense. But I mean, the guy tried to murder him in his sleep.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean, he kind of did. Let's just talk about that.
all right, let's go ahead and move on into that fight.
He
So
cracked his back. He literally
Yeah,
cracked
that
his
had to
back.
feel good.
How
Just
is
a little bit
Boba
of-
alive?
it was just chiropractic.
Maybe
crack.
that-
You
you
never
think
had your
that's
back
what-
cracked?
That's what he needed.
He's probably like, oh, now I feel good.
Thought of him.
You
But
want to join me in the
That whole fight, it
Polynesian
was That was a fight that ever since I saw Black, I can't remember his name. Black
Kersantin.
Yeah, Black Kersantin. Ever since I saw him,
BK.
I was like, let's call him BK. That is going to be a heck
Have it
of
your
a
way.
fight. It is going to be so fun to watch. And then we get Undies Boba, and BK's like, I'm not going to use any weapons. I'm literally not going to hit you. I'm just going to throw you around. That is not how you kill people. He literally could have grabbed Boba and tore his arms off. And instead he says, toss over here, toss over there, toss you into your weapons rack. Like,
Pick up and give a little bear hug.
it was just like, who's writing this?
Dude, it was just like Batman and Robin. Anytime Bane was on the screen, they're like, "Oh no, it's big bad guy with wires going down his whole body. What do we do? Kick the wires."
Yeah, it was disappointing. I just expected so much more. And then you're like, all right, Boba's gonna do some cool stuff finally. He's gonna take on a Wookiee and beat it with his bare hands.
Like he grabbed whatever weapon. I thought it was a flamethrower.
It was his wrist rocket or whatever.
His wrist rocket. I thought he was gonna pull out his flamethrower and just like shoot the
That would've
Wookiee
been
up
sick.
and singe his hair and stuff.
That would have been
and
awesome. And then BK has to roll around on the ground to get the flames out, and now he just looks like gnarled and mangled, angry in the face.
Like
but they
the
didn't.
koala in the fight in the Australian fires.
It was like they didn't want to take the time to animate it or something. Like we didn't really get to see his facial expression. We didn't get to see like the ferociousness that you should see when a Wookiee is trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, it was all done in the dark.
It was all done in the dark, so that they don't have to spend a lot of money on it. And it was frustrating, especially to see Boba was no match for him and had to be saved by the teenage kids with their.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
lasers
And then who comes to save him?
the Power Rangers.
I'm green. Unite.
I mean,
But how did BK even get in the palace?
Dude, I thought
Did
that
he
was
just
a
leaving the
dream.
door open?
I thought that was a dream. Or
Me
something.
too.
I was like, whoa, this is a crazy like nightmare. I wonder how.
well, I mean, he
knows
can
this
sneak
guy.
in. The guy is black. He can hide in the shadows. It's not like Boba has this big army protecting him. He has 2 Gamorrean guards and a bunch of teenagers.
He has a huge gate.
You think that's the only way to get in?
Evidently, that's the only way people come in.
Well,
And
you've
that's the
never been
only.
Just because you
entrance we've
only
ever seen.
Never
throw
been to Mexico
show,
before.
just because you only show the front door doesn't mean there's only one door.
It would have been cool if they just
Brain
gave,
Luke got in.
10-second of him like scaling the wall and reaching over,
Sure, that'd
and
been fun.
then getting in instead of like immediately wakes up.
I don't
and
know.
then
I
Yeah, it was
disagree.
weird.
I thought that was
You
really
wanted
cool.
the shock value.
I was
The
shocked. I was
shock
like,
value was good.
I was like, dang, let's go. And then I was like, well, that sucked.
Well, I thought this would have been good.
Even like when they're done, I was like, oh, they're gonna step on his knuckles and make him fall in. And like, no, we're gonna do something cool. She's gonna throw a knife at his fingers. I was like, that was stupid and unnecessary. Just freaking kick his fingers.
Yeah, just step on it.
I was like, well, you're just wasting a good knife.
So also the BK just shredded Boba, but then the teens, it's his weakness. Children are his weakness.
Well, I mean, there were
think.
6 of them.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, but he could literally just go whoomp, whoomp,
Yeah.
and then throw him, and then they'd be.
Apparently, that
across the
taser
room.
bothered him quite a bit because it seems like every time he got hit by
Apparently.
it like slowed him down. But like the guy doesn't even have a lethal weapon. He's shooting him with like a freaking. What's the thing that Ezra used? The little slingshot.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
No, but it was
Phase?
like it looked like it did the same thing. It wasn't like a laser. Kind of shot little energy
Yeah.
balls at him. I don't know. It was very disappointing.
Someone's arm should have gotten ripped
It's just
off.
something
it's
epic. You don't have
what's
to show
even
it like
rated.
it's PG. Mandalorian's PG-13.
Oh wow! I didn't know it was only PG.
I mean, so far the episodes so far have only been PG. But they're definitely Disneyfying things. They're not showing the violence that we should see. I mean, like that episode where Boba
It's
comes.
TB-14.
Oh, was it? The episode where Boba came in and tore up the stormtroopers in The Mandalorian was awesome. You got to see some ferocious fighting by Boba. We have not seen anything to that level yet in the show that's all about Boba, you know? So I'm missing that. But hopefully we'll get some really good action. We only have 4 episodes left, so it's.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say more so. We have 4 episodes. We have more than half of the show left.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I don't know how much more value 32 minutes of screen time will
Yeah.
give
But-
us.
But what was that thing I was gonna say? I forgot. Oh, so then after that, the twins show up and are like, so we sent BK to try to kill you, but now we realize the Pikes are involved. We don't really want
We're
to war with the
sorry.
Pikes, so we're just gonna back off and we'll let you fight the Pikes if you want, but you really shouldn't. Here's a gift of a Rancor. Why wouldn't you just leave?
Those
like,
twins
they
are
made
a
no
bunch of
sense.
sussy bakas.
Yeah, I don't get why wouldn't you just leave? You know, you don't have to go there.
I feel like their inclusion in the show is kind of weird if they're gonna set them up to be something and then cut them out in the next episode.
If this
with,
is
like,
all they are, yeah, I agree
Well,
with Carl. If this is all they are, bad.
if that was just have the Pikes right away.
I do think what they're trying to do is show that the Pikes are someone you don't want to mess with. And you don't want to
Spikes are
fight
the moped gang.
I mean, if the Hutts are going to leave the whole planet of Tatooine that's owed to them by birthright, just because, as Jabba's relatives have said that they had that claim or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then
Jabba is America. The Hutts are America. So the Hutts are leaving, just like we need to leave America for the natives.
huh? Okay. Anyways, I think they're just trying to show that as intimidating as the Hutts are, they were the main, they're who we thought the next big bad was. They're leaving just because they don't want to deal with trying to fight the Pikes. It's not worth it.
Well, that's the thing, though. We didn't think the Hutts were the next big bad thing until they said they were for like 5 minutes, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
Just kidding, we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they could have just added a little bit more flashback to show that the Pikes were nasty, and I
Yeah.
feel like that would have been just as effective and moved the story along better. It would have connected everything more.
Yeah, at this point, the Pikes just look like
Squid
couriers.
people.
Yeah. They're just
But I think we're
couriers.
going to find out that's not the case, though. I mean, I think there's a big reason they actually chose the Pikes for a villain, because it's going to be easier for them to have Boba kill tons of them because they're helmeted aliens, which I talked about, I think, in the Discord chat. If you have helmeted people, your rating, by like your parental rating, doesn't go up as much because you don't see living people's faces when they die. Like for some reason, if you see someone's face when they die, it makes it a higher TV rating. So I think that
We want the highest rating, dude.
I think that might have something to do with it. So it doesn't have to be TVMA if he were. So this way we might see him kill 30, 40 Pikes or something. So
Stormtroopers, basically.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Kill them.
but
Kill them all.
I didn't like either that he just let BK go.
Yeah, I mean, like,
That was so weird.
hire the teenagers or hire the second
Yeah,
best bounty
I
hunter
mean,
in the show.
Why not just
Ah,
offer
be on
him
your
to work
side.
with you? You know?
That's what I
Hey.
thought it was going to be, a life debt or something.
Yeah, just like I'll spare your life. You're not enslaved to me, but I'm gonna offer you a chance to work for me. If not, if I see you again, I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
Something.
Why not?
For
My favorite part of the episode, BK doing one of
Just
these off the camera.
jogging off into the desert. I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, what is this show right now?
Someone commented, "I live for BK doing the poopy diaper run across the screen." He looked like he crapped a deuce when he fell down the pit or
Alright,
something.
I'm gonna
and
watch
he-
this right now.
Oh, it is goofy, dude.
no, maybe it was an homage to like the Bigfoot footage that you see. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe
Yeah,
a
that's what it looked
stretch.
like. It is. I don't know, man. And then that chase scene with the whole mayor and everything. So you think the mayor left because he knew that he was threatened being in Mos Espa?
Yep.
I don't even think we can assert on that. I feel we don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think so.
The Pikes, he was threatened by the Pikes, or he was threatened by Boba.
But why did the dude feel like he needed to run?
Because he's hiding something. I bet. I mean,
Well, why wouldn't
don't
he
we
just
know
say-
that the Pikes are working with
The mayor.
They're
the
working
mayor?
with the mayor, yeah.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't he just say the mayor's not here? Here, look for yourself. He's not here.
it's a very good question.
You know,
They weren't
why is he
looking
gotta
for
be
him.
like, run? They weren't looking for him. They don't care
know
about the
that-
messenger.
Yeah, we know that Boba wouldn't do anything to the messenger. He's kind of
Yeah, I don't get why he didn't say
light-footed.
mayor's not here. Here, go look for yourself. He's just not here today. He's out doing things. I don't know. I feel like that was kind of dumb. But I hope I don't have to see those speeders again, man.
Opening screen of episode 4.
I'm
So-
watching him
Hand
like
up from the
quarter
speeders.
speed. Him
Let's
running
just-
across the screen.
So the Pikes show up. It looks like they're going to try to start their takeover. What does this show? Let's do all three of you guys. We'll start with CJ. What does this show have to do to turn it around for you? What do you need to see? What has to change?
Wait, real quick though. We've never seen the Pikes in present day.
You mean in
You
this
haven't-
in this
Oh
time?
wait, no, that's right. They showed him at the end when they were walking up the ship. So that's like their big entrance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just put that together in my mind because it's like we've only seen them in flashbacks.
No, we
And
saw
now-
them in the big entrance.
I guess is it supposed to be a big surprise? Like, oh, they're back. They're actually here.
Well, I think it's gonna be a surprise to Boba because I imagine we're either
He
gonna see
probably
one of two
chucked
things.
him off in the flashback.
He either pretty much kicked him out of Tatooine in the flashback that we're gonna see, or he made an alliance with them and they're betraying it. So one of those two things is going to happen. I imagine probably the former. All right. So what do
Yeah.
you need to see for the next 4 episodes for this season of the Book of Boba Fett to turn it around? CJ?
Honestly, I don't know. I think the things that they could do would just make the show super inconsistent, and that would also detract from it. One
Like,
thing
we can't say we hope Boba Fett's character changes because it's not going to happen.
Right. Like one big issue I've had with Boba is for someone that wants to rule for like from respect, he seems to kind of bend over anytime someone disrespects them, like those Gamorrean guards.
Or that
They're not going to
droid.
surrender to him. We're going to hire you. Those
Yeah.
kids were like mocking him in the street, saying you're not like strong. He's like, oh, let me just hire you to my team. That Wookiee tries to kill him, you can go free. Like if you want to get in
wow.
with Boba, just diss him and you're
Those
good.
are some really good points that I
Good
like.
job.
I saw, but didn't really put into those terms.
Yeah,
he's just so
been
weak.
soft. Yeah.
And so you could make him hard, but that would just be out of left field.
Unless there's something
Uh,
that pushes him there and realizes everything he's been doing is wrong.
I
You know,
guess
If
that's maybe the best way.
if people attack him and he realizes that he just cannot get the respect of the town and that crime is still running without his permission, and he's like, that's
Yeah.
it. I tried ruling fairly. Now I'm going to rule the way I have to. That could maybe turn it around.
They also have to, right now, he's like he and the mayor, like the mayor's the mayor, air quotes, and he's the crime lord, like air quotes, but really their positions are switched. Like the mayor seems like he's extorting people. He's working with like the mafia, and Boba's like a glorified sheriff. He's not even a ruler. He's just like a lawkeeper.
Yeah, and he's not
And-
even like a crime lord should not care about the little people. He is trying to make profit and
Grow his empire.
grow his empire. Boba doesn't care about empire or grow or making profit right now. Literally, it appears all he cares about is ruling fairly.
He's
Robin
like
Hood.
getting money to legitimately protect people. Like when
Yeah.
the mobsters
Robin
go
Hood.
in, they're like, we need money to like protect us. It's really they just want your money. They don't really care about you. But
Yeah.
he's like, I need you to pay me so I can actually protect you. It's just like a security service.
Yeah,
Just hire
David
him.
said it well. He's Robin Hood.
He's
Yeah.
even got the green.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good points. So, do you
Very
think
good
there's something they
points.
could do to fix that outside of what I had said?
Outside of what you had said, I guess if they can set up some kind of like animosity in their flashback between him and the Pikes, and then have that affect what he does like in the next 4 episodes and like combating them. And then
Mhm.
also, honestly, it might even be better if they just try and move him over to being the actual ruler, like having him actually try to become the mayor of the city or something.
Yeah.
At least it would make more sense.
It
And
does.
Then,
ahead.
good.
You go.
I was gonna say, and then the other thing is you have those kids. The thing that bothered me about the kids the most that y'all didn't really bring up is the way that they just kind of like show up and all of a sudden they're in. There's
We don't
no
know their
like setup.
names. No. Yeah.
they're just like random kids, and he's like, all right, you work for me, and they're there with the Gamorreans. It makes sense, but with them, he just like pulled some, he didn't even know that they could fight, like that they were good at anything.
He literally
just pulled
said,
them off the street.
"You have a sharp tongue. Let's hope you can fight as well as you
You've
can
got
talk."
guts, kid.
Yeah,
I'll
like
pay you.
you can.
I'll pay you
She
for insulting
argued
me.
with you. She argued
Yeah.
with you, so you think she's going to be a good warrior?
One punch.
So
Yeah.
you have to do something with them, like if they're gonna stay, to
Yeah.
make them like at least tolerable. But I feel like all of that is a lot to ask for 4 episodes.
I do think one thing.
Spreading way too thin.
Yeah, they got their hands in too many cookie jars. I do think one thing that I think will happen or could happen that would make this a lot better for me, which I think is the direction they're going, is we're all complaining about him being soft, but right now Boba sees the town of Mos Espa as his subjects, right? And he wants what's best for his people. I don't think he's going to see the Pikes the same way.
No.
So the way I envision
They're
it,
invaders.
yeah, when we see this ruthless Boba that we want, it's going to be lashing out against the Pikes. And I think that as far as the action of the show goes and the person of Boba Fett who we've known and loved for years and years, I think we'll get that when it comes to dealing with the Pikes. He'll be ruthless against them. He's not going to try to rule fair, make deals, and be soft with them. He'll do what it takes to eliminate the Pikes. I think if that happens, it won't be quite the jump that I want to see. I still don't want him to care about the little people as much. But I think with his experience with the Tuskens, that's just inevitable. That's what's his relationship with his people is going to be. But I think that if I can see and get some satisfaction from him dealing with the Pikes and see him being ruthless towards them, not even just violence, just with the way he approaches situations, that would help me out a lot and just explain his character a lot better. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, kind of echo what you guys said. I just really want them to show more of his life, really. More than.
I mean, outside of the Tusken?
Yeah,
stuff?
just, man, something that he did in his past life.
Like a fight with
That's what
Darth
I was
Vader?
really looking forward to from this show. Not just to see, like, how he got out and what he does after, but, stuff he did in the past with the Empire or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but
Right.
something from the past.
Yeah, maybe even just like a bounty he collected or something.
Yeah, just
Actually, now that I think about that, I think with all the Cad Bane rumors, I think we might get a flashback to him and Cad Bane.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
So I
With
was
his
watching
dent.
a video today that said, what if, because we know that the Pikes worked for Crimson Dawn and Darth Maul all the way up through at least Solo, which takes place not many years before this, maybe 10, 15 years before this, maybe a little more than that, but not long after, or not long before this. And what if the new ruler or boss of Crimson Dawn is Cad Bane? We know Cad Bane's going to be older in life. He probably is trying to not do as many bounties and maybe try to gain some money by having people do things for him. I would not be shocked to see that.
That would be super exciting.
Yeah.
As long as he's with Kira. Kira's got to be under, not with, but Kira's got to be under him.
Well, I mean, she also could be out of. She could be
there.
out of Crimson Dawn. It's not like that's something she really wanted to do that bad.
But she wasn't getting out of Crimson Dawn, not with Darth Maul there.
Yeah, well, Darth Maul's dead.
But I imagine at that point she was in. Like,
You think so?
she was stuck, and
Maybe.
maybe that's where we'll see Han Solo show up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Now, I've seen that rumor as well that Han Solo is appearing in this or Harrison Ford is appearing in this as
Which-
Han Solo. But
that
Harrison
doesn't
Ford's
make
like
sense.
90 years old. I don't understand. Maybe, I mean, I guess I do suppose Mark Hamill did appear as Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
And they dubbed over him. Yeah.
They de-aged him and dubbed over him, but maybe they'll do something like that, I suppose, is possible.
That'd be
'Cause
cool.
they
I
hired
don't know.
they hired that Shamook guy, the
Shamook?
YouTuber. He's a deep fake YouTuber.
Yeah.
You've probably seen many of his videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about it on
Disney
one of the
actually,
shows.
they actually hired him.
Oh, really? So they plan on doing more things like that in the future. That'd be interesting, I suppose. I mean, with this new universe that they're creating with all these different shows in this timeline, I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of characters from the original trilogy and even the prequel trilogy, I imagine.
Hope so.
So
That'd be nice.
okay.
But I think we just need, or Boba needs something to trigger his more
Savage.
barbaric side.
Yeah.
to where he can just flip that switch, and whether it's the Pikes, could be the Pikes. I hope it's not the Pikes, because they're not rooted in his DNA as like, I hate that, because that was
Right.
what, just like a couple years ago, if that.
What was?
Yeah.
His
It would have been.
interactions
It
with
would
the
have been
Pikes.
5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago,
Is that
because
did
the
they
Mandalorian
confirm
takes
where
place.
the flashbacks are?
The Mandalorian takes place 6 years after Return of the Jedi,
Okay,
and the flashbacks take place right after Return of the Jedi because he's in the
That's
Sarlacc
fair.
pit.
So I think he needs something, whether it's him seeing Han Solo, which I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, there's unfinished business there. But I mean, from Han Solo's side, no, there's no unfinished business.
And Boba Fett doesn't.
I don't
care
even know
about
that
Han Solo.
Boba knows who hit him into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, how could he?
He was looking the opposite
The other
direction.
way.
But I mean, he didn't like Han Solo because he was a bounty and a competitor
Yeah,
for a
but
long,
he had
long time.
thousands of bounties. He wasn't a competitor. Han Solo was a smuggler. Smugglers and bounty hunters are
They
not.
both
even,
worked for Jabba, though.
They're not against each other. Boba
Solo was a bounty hunter.
No, he's a
Han Solo was
smuggler.
not a bounty hunter. He was a smuggler.
Smuggler. That's why I had a smuggler's compartment under the
He-
Millennium
he
Falcon.
took-
I thought he
took-
did bounties.
No, he took cargo and
Oh.
smuggled it across the galaxy. He
Spice.
he dropped a shipment, one of Jabba's shipments, because he saw Imperials. They want to
No.
get caught with contraband,
Yep.
and because of that, Boba was hunting him. But
He
they
had-
worked for the
he
same
had
employer.
lots
They were
of bounties.
co-workers.
Yeah,
There were bounties on his head.
he had lots of bounties on his head.
Yeah. So I mean, to Boba, all he was is just another one of thousands of bounties.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're like rivals or anything. I mean, Han probably hates him because he put him in carbonite and killed his friends.
So
but-
yeah, I guess there's that, but there needs to be something to trigger his emotions,
yeah,
and
maybe a death of Fennec or something.
maybe
I don't think that's going to happen.
death of a Rancor.
No.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Dude, there's no way that Rancor dies right after they brought it into the show.
Speaking of what CJ said about them just like randomly bringing stuff in, they did the same thing for the Rancor.
Yeah.
Here's a Rancor.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. They said they're paying tribute to him to show his legitimacy. Maybe they just wanted to back him because it would be better for them for Boba Fett to rule Tatooine than it would for the Pikes.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just trying to show that they were backing Boba Fett as a leader so that maybe he could get more people on his side. And they knew that the people were used to seeing Hutts on their litters paraded through the city. Well, if this guy's got a Rancor, just like we had a Rancor, people are going to now fear the Rancor. People are going to be in Boba's presence and know that they could be dropped to the Rancor any time. So maybe they're trying to solidify his rule a little bit, which I think kind of makes sense.
I
Overthinking
don't.
that.
I think that they would just leave, and if Boba won, they would come back and try and kill him again.
That's probably more realistic. But
Yeah. So the way I see it is, and well, of course, I'm not going to know till we have 2020 hindsight, but I see these 3 episodes as an arc, because it's kind of done a little bit of this.
yeah,
I'm hoping the next 3 episodes is going to be another bit of this, and then
And then
the
it
7th
crescendos.
episode is going to be something hopefully
Grand finale.
crazy.
we
But
haven't had any crazy moments yet, which has been a bummer. Nothing we were like, yeah, let's go.
Black
No.
Chrysanthemum and the Hutts was cool.
He was like, oh, that's cool. That's what
the
that
Rancor
was.
was cool, but yeah, I guess they're like, what would you compare it to for a Mando moment? What's a
Uh,
whoa Mando
Boba
moment?
dropping in with his armor on and taking out the stormtroopers. Luke showing up and wiping out the.
So you want a cameo?
No, I don't need a cameo. Just any cool moment. I mean, Mando, when he went in and got Grogu at the end of season 1 and took out all the stormtroopers in that building,
But what
that
if-
was a heck yeah moment.
What if it wasn't Grogu though? What if it was some random
And then it
fifth,
could.
fifth child?
No, I don't mean the child. I just mean the scene of him taking out the stormtroopers using the whistling birds.
Like a well done action sequence.
Yeah, it was awesome. It just stuff where I was like, it pumped up because I'm seeing awesome Star Wars going on, you know?
Or the hypersonic, what are they called? The sonic detonators?
Seismic charge.
Seismic charge.
charges.
Yeah.
Yep. Those
Yeah.
going off.
I mean, I don't have to have fan service cameo. I just want to have that moment where I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see Boba Fett do. Just something like that, you know, and I just haven't seen it yet. But I think there's hope yet.
I think this next episode will be a better than 3, maybe not as good as 2 from the general public perspective.
I need it to be the best one so far. I'm gonna start getting frustrated if this show doesn't pick up.
Yeah, same.
So I need it to improve.
So it's got to be pushing the storyline forward, and we need something to happen. We need an aha wow moment.
I need to get excited. I need
I'm
something that
sure.
excites me, and it makes me excited to watch the next episode. Because right now, I see it. I'm like, that was all right. Next one comes out next week.
Well, and that's what Disney shoots himself in the foot in a way when they have a series that drops weekly, as opposed to like Netflix all at once. And you can judge something as a whole.
Yeah.
Even when you rewatch the whole show, it's hard to judge it as a whole because you've had this emotion with each. Like if we could go right into the next episode, I guarantee you we would not be talking about the biker gang. As much. We would not be talking about them as much.
It's because that's the only thing we have to talk about.
We would know what would be happening with them. We'd know, all right, now throughout the rest of the season, they're just a side piece. They don't have really much to do with it,
I suppose.
So, and in the other aspect of it, when you drop shows weekly, you have to have a really good hook at the end of every episode.
And it has not.
And there hasn't really been a good hook. The hook is it's a show about Boba Fett and you want to see what happens. Yeah. That's the hook.
It's exactly it. It's just living off of the title of having Boba Fett.
So
overall, I've been pretty disappointed by the show so far. It just hasn't lived up to the hype for me. You guys?
I agree.
Yeah. It's been like a Captain America Winter Soldier type of show so far.
It's there. It's entertainment. I'm glad even if it was this for 4 more episodes, I'd be glad I had it over nothing because I get to see Boba Fett as a character, which is just not something I get to see. But I will have forever said that was a wasted opportunity. It could have been so much better. So hopefully these last 4 episodes turns things around for us, or if it's not, maybe in season 2 will. But I guess we'll just see. All right.
Other news?
That's chapter 3.